Exciting news about the closure of the 10 freeway in downtown LA. It's now just days, not weeks, before we could see the fire-damaged roadway reopen. And reaching for the stars, NASA astronaut Pomona's own Victor Glover returns to his high school with a mission to inspire. His motivational message that everyone should hear. Hello, everyone. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. The Thanksgiving holiday travel rush is now underway. And compared to last year, we could have a lot more company in the airports and on the roads. The TSA says it expects 30 million Americans to fly over a 12-day holiday travel period. That's an 11.5% jump over last year. Airports are telling everyone to plan ahead.
Remember to follow 321. Passengers should be at the airport ticket counter 3 hours before their flight, at the checkpoint 2 hours before their flight, and at the gate 1 hour before departure.
Great advice. Meantime, AAA says it expects just over 49 million of us to drive to our Thanksgiving destinations. That's a slight increase over 2022. The good news is gas prices are 40 cents cheaper nationally than they were last year. The busiest days on the road are expected to be Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and the Sunday after the holiday. And some really good news for drivers planning to hit the road for Thanksgiving. The 10 freeway in downtown LA will reopen ahead of schedule in just a matter of days. This is awesome. So Governor Gavin Newsom originally said it would take 3 to 5 weeks to repair the damage from a massive fire. That would have put the reopening sometime in the first half of December. But now the freeway will reopen before Thanksgiving. Mayor Karen Bass called the expedited timeline a gift.
Well, this is a good day in Los Angeles. And let me just say, to quote one of the Caltrans engineers, all of the stars have been aligned on behalf of Angelenos.
A lot of crews are working around the clock to get the freeway reopened. The mayor and governor were asked about the price tag for the repairs. They said that is still being determined. All right, meteorologist Belinda De Leon is keeping an eye on the wet and windy weekend ahead.
Hi, everyone. We're headed into the weekend with a lot happening in our forecast. Friday will be mainly dry. Clouds increase as we get into sunset. Then rain arrives Friday evening into Saturday. Saturday is looking like a soggy day with a chance for some isolated thunderstorms. Once the rain is gone on Sunday, our focus shifts to the winds. Now, as far as the rain goes on Saturday, we're looking at the possibility of accumulations for most areas between 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch, higher amounts in the mountains. And thankfully, the snow level is going to be really high, so we're not expecting any huge impacts when it comes to the snow. Maybe an inch or two at resort level, the snow level will be above 7,000 feet. Now, after the rain is gone, look at what happens. We have the weather drying out on Sunday, but then Santa Ana winds return early next week. So keep a close eye on the forecast. A lot's going to be happening as we head into Thanksgiving week.
A college professor is facing felony charges in connection with the death of a pro-Israel demonstrator in Thousand Oaks. The Ventura County Sheriff's Office identified him as 50-year-old Lohe Al-Naji, a computer science professor at Moore Park College. He's facing involuntary manslaughter and battery charges. At some point during simultaneous rallies on Sunday, November 5th, deputies say Al-Naji got into a confrontation with the man who died, 69-year-old Paul Kessler. Kessler fell during the interaction, hit his head on the ground, and then later died from his injuries. The Kessler family's rabbi is asking for people not to rush to judgment.
I've had a lot of people call from around the community, from around the country, asking what we're going to do. When are we going to bring up signs? And I said, we're trusting our law enforcement agencies right now to do what they're going to do. They have to figure this out. They have to collect evidence. There's so much that they have to do, and it's not our job to interfere at this point.
The rabbi tells us the Kessler family has empathy and compassion for everyone involved. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department is still looking for people who might have more information about what exactly happened between the two men. For the first time, we're hearing from one of the LA County Sheriff's Department recruits who was hit by a driver during a training run a year ago in Whittier. The crash claimed the life of one of the members of the class, 27-year-old Alex Martinez. The Army National Guardsman was in the ICU for 8 months before he died in July. Joshua Aguas was with the group of 75 recruits when authorities say Nicolas Gutierrez plowed right into them with his SUV. Joshua broke his leg, and he was one of 24 recruits who were injured.
You think of Alex Martinez often?
I do, sir. Almost every day. Having to live with that and carry on his memory, I think has made me a stronger person.
You still want to do this job?
With all my heart.
The driver is now facing several charges, including vehicular manslaughter and reckless driving. He told us last year in an exclusive interview that he fell asleep behind the wheel. The Chino Valley Unified School Board has approved a new policy that will allow them to remove books with sexually obscene content from campuses. The policy passed by a 3-2 vote. Now, anyone living in the district, parent or not, will be able to file a complaint about a book. Once that complaint is filed, the book will be temporarily removed. A public hearing will follow within 45 days. Then the board will make the final call. This is the second controversial decision by the Chino Unified School Board. It's also locked in a legal battle with the state over its gender notification policy. More electric vehicle fast charging stations are coming to LA. LADWP launched the Powered by Equity initiative. This ensures that charging networks will be built in communities with little to no access. The agency says working families will be more open to invest in electric vehicles if they have the ability to charge them. Officials also announced the used electric vehicle rebate is increasing to $4,000 for customers who qualify. The excitement for the Paris Olympics and Paralympics is building. The athletes have been in LA taking in the sights from the top of a double-decker tour bus. And to cap it all off, NBC4's Lynette Romero actually got a chance to catch up with one of their biggest fans, the host of NBC Olympics Primetime, Mike Tirico.
I think there's going to be an energy for the Paris Games that the Olympics needs, that we all, I think, will be looking for. And I'm getting that excitement from being around the athletes and talking to them this week. It's fun to get to talk to the athletes when they're not right on the precipice of their big competition, right? They're relaxed, they're in off-season, or they're embarking on what their season is going to be. The ramp-up and the build-up is coming for many right after the holidays. So to talk about their lives and who they are, that's the fun part for me of a week like this.
Okay, so this isn't your first rodeo, obviously.
Yep.
What's Mike Tirico? What are you most excited about, Mike Tirico?
I'm excited to get back to the Olympics that I first got to experience in Rio in 2016. 3 games in a row in Asia, half a world away, the last 2 with COVID. It really has taken some of that joy of the Olympics away. I think we're going to have that because not only the competition, but the place. I mean, how do you not love Paris? Paris in the summertime, all the iconic imagery of Paris, and a lot of those things will be incorporated in the games. We've talked about this. Opening ceremony right down the River Seine, the beach volleyball at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. I don't care who's playing. I'll just want to watch beach volleyball in front of the Eiffel Tower. You can't beat that stuff. So all of that, I think, will be a boost for everyone involved, and especially those of us who are covering it.
Now, what about breakdancing? I am super excited about that. Breakdancing in Paris.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is too hard to surface. I can't show you the routines that some of the athletes are going to be performing, maybe another time. But
your moves.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. The Olympics appeals to different audiences and welcomes in different audiences at different times. And this is a perfect example of it. We know we're going to see flag football for LA 28 among the sports that are going to be there. So this is new, this is fun. Skateboarding was new in Tokyo, and it opened the Olympic door to a whole group of folks who otherwise wouldn't be watching. That's been one of the great things of this history of the modern Olympics, and I'm glad to see it continue, especially with breaking.
Very exciting. We're rooting for all the athletes. Angels superstar Shohei Ohtani is your 2023 American League MVP. The vote was unanimous, making him the first player in MLB history to win the award twice. Not only was he one of the league's best pitchers, he was also one of the best hitters. Ohtani is currently a free agent, so, hey, rumors are swirling about where he'll sign. We shall see. It's the season of giving, and this is your chance to make a child's Christmas wish come true. The U.S. Postal Service's 111th annual Operation Santa program is back, and children are encouraged to write wish lists to Santa and drop them off in the mail. The post office says those letters make their way to Santa's satellite workshop to be reviewed. They are then posted on the Operation Santa website for people to adopt. These gifts will go a long, long way for families who may not be able to afford presents this year. What a great program. And finally, a full circle moment for NASA astronaut and Pomona native Victor Glover. He is visiting the students and teachers at his alma mater, Ontario High School. Victor is the pilot for the upcoming Artemis II mission. He was a standout student athlete at Ontario High and later graduated from Cal Poly Pomona before joining the Navy as a pilot. His first trip to space was aboard the SpaceX Dragon capsule, and he spent 6 months on the International Space Station. But this is the first spacecraft he'll be able to fly by hand. The 9-day-long trip is scheduled to launch in the fall of 2024. Victor and the 3 other crew members on the Orion capsule will slingshot around the moon. Victor says this is the perfect opportunity to inspire the next generation because he knows exactly what it was like to be right where they are sitting.
I'm going to tell them about the mission and how important each phase of that development was, my journey in junior high and high school, and how significant what those students are doing, but also what those educators are doing, and I'm going to thank them all for their service. I think it's important for kids from everywhere to know that they're connected to this. I mean, it wasn't something that I saw for myself. And so it's really easy to select yourself out of these things and say, like, that's just not for me. And I really want to bring that message home that this is for everybody. I don't care if you're from Pomona, LA, San Bernardino, Riverside, Temecula. This is open to all of us. We all have access, even if you don't see anybody that looks like you.
Very, very inspirational. Perhaps he'll spark an interest that will send one of them into space someday. I sure hope so. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4, weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.